Hi,
Hey,
Tanya.
Anne-Marie. That's okay. We're starting again.
No, we're not. We're just starting with a
No, I
laugh.
mean we're
It's
starting the
all good.
season, a new season, and we're
Happy
in
season
sync.
3. Dun 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 dun. Season
Woohoo!
3.
Woohoo!
Well, here we are. We're back at our Living Left podcast. And
We-
who knew that we'd get here to season 3.
I know we've missed it a bit, I feel we were saying.
I do miss it a little bit. I do also think it's kind of fun that we've just continued. So anyone, if you think you just want to do one of these things, I think the best thing is just to just try.
Yeah.
Just turn on and start recording, and maybe some interesting magic happens. Not every week, but most
Yeah.
weeks. And we've been liking this. So here we go. We're to season 3, and our theme for season 3 will be less about, we've talked a lot about us in the our first 2 seasons and personal elements of being a middle-aged professional woman in this lovely world.
Hmm.
And we want to talk more and more about women who are turning left, to talk about others, like shine some light on women doing really fantastic things, making fantastic choices, leading with vigor, leaning into this next phase of their life. So that's what we're hoping to talk about in the next few episodes. But for right now, we do need to talk about something really exciting we did that, well, we leaned left and we took
Hard.
off.
We
So if you,
did.
right? So if we listen to the last episode, we talked about me turning 50 and my big
Yep.
half century tour trip that I took and party and things like that. And so we need to
We're
give
back
people,
and
yeah, we need
let's
to give
talk
people
about it.
like a recap.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me, I went away for 2 weeks and then you came and you met me in London.
Yes, I
So
did.
first time in London.
First time in London, loved it. Yeah, I think there were a few things. I don't know what you want to start initially talking about, but I do think a big part of it was the two of us kind of, we spend a lot of time together, but traveling together for 10 days, and we both took holidays. So usually, oftentimes when I'm in Europe, I'm working a good portion of it, to be honest. So this was actually no work. So leaving the team to manage, and as we're not surprised, they did an amazing job, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I met you at the third leg of your European half
Yeah.
century tour, and got to spend a few days in London with you and your oldest, who I adore.
So let's
And
hold on, pause for 1 second before you
yeah,
go.
sure,
So we took it as vacation so that we could extricate ourselves from the business.
100%.
However, our intention was to strengthen our relationship as business partners.
Yes. And
So,
we knew we were going to have discussions. So we didn't want to work in the business. I
yes.
always say that wrong.
No,
Work
you're
on
right.
we want to work, we wanted to work on the business, not in the
Correct.
business. So when I say
Correct.
vacation, thank you for clarifying, we removed ourselves from the work in the business, meaning
Yeah.
no emails were responded to, no client, like the team knew if they needed us urgently, text us. But beyond that, there was to be no work in the business. We went with actually a slightly loose agenda on
Yeah.
some key things we wanted to talk about working on the business, which we actually enjoy doing that. I don't consider that work, in my opinion. It is
Yeah.
work, but you and I
I
tend
agree.
to do that naturally when we're going on our walks and we're having
Yeah.
conversations. I would say 9.5 times out of 10, we're talking about left turn, future, our vision,
It's
etc.
because we're dreamers. We like to think
We,
about things and like to plan, and
yeah.
we like
Well,
to.
you're sure. I'd say you're more the dreamer, and I'm more the I like that dream. Okay, how do we make that dream work? But we just naturally go there. So we knew that there was going to be an element of that. And I think what we were curious about, and you're so very good at this, is, we knew removing ourselves from a creativity standpoint, from not being mired by decision making because of
Yeah.
fires and stuff that's
Yeah.
happening, what could we talk about? And I think it's what you said, getting to know one another. I mean, our lives are full on all levels. So while we're talking about our kids and our lives and work, and just to have none of that, and just to say, what does Tanya and Anne Marie want, and what are we like, and what does
Yeah.
this look like, I think was beautiful. in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah.
And we've had many jokes, and I think we're going to have them for many years. You and I have not spent that much time, just the two of us. Like we were right, we spend time thinking and planning and working
Yeah.
together, but we don't spend like 10 days together. 10 days with anyone is
Yeah.
like an
It's not
adventure.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's easy. It's an adventure. It's like you
Yes.
learn things about each other. Then you and I know each other very well. In the way, it's almost like traveling with your spouse in that
That's how
you
I felt.
like, yeah, like
Yeah.
you love that person, you like that person. There's
Yeah.
little things you're like, oh, I didn't know they did that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, or that's annoying, or whatever. Like there's that's a lot of time to spend together. And
Yeah.
I had so much fun, which I think
As did
is
I. As did I.
critical. And there's little things like, and again, because my relationship with you is probably one of the healthiest relationships I
Mhm.
have in my life, where you can say, like, stop that.
Yes. I think we both equally,
Yes.
we're like, that's annoying. Or
Yeah.
I'm gonna push you on the road.
I saved you.
You
I
did
didn't push
save
you on
me
the
more
road.
than
I
once.
pulled you back from the road
You
a
know,
bit.
one would think in the amount of travel I've done to European countries, I will have learned to actually look left and not right.
You don't.
No, look left and not whichever way.
The
I
way that
almost got
you
killed.
looked right, and I was
I
looking
will
left,
look
and
the
you
wrong
forgot. You
way
went the
all the
wrong way
time. I
and
went the
almost
wrong
got
way. That's
killed in
okay.
France.
Yeah, this is not anything new. Anyone who's traveled with me in Europe would agree they've saved my
Because
life.
you are okay, we'll go back to what we did, but like so it just we see the world very different.
Yes, we do.
It's okay. We haven't talked about this is my opinion. I just thought of it right now. I
Sure.
believe I look at the world, I'm observing the world, and I'm like
Hmm.
taking it in, and I'm like piecing it together, and I'm like finding a pattern, and I'm like, oh, okay. You are moving through the world the way that you move through the world. Like you just
Hmm.
go the way you want to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not looking.
I run into trouble
Yes, because you're like,
because the world
well,
doesn't work
this
this
should
way.
work. I'm just going to go through like trying to get onto the metro in Paris for a small example. She's just like,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
just,
like, that is not going to work. I'm like, let's just try it.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
no. And
like,
then I got
no,
stuck.
it didn't work. And I'm like, there's a line here for a reason. We need to get the little pass. You're like, no, we don't.
Yes.
No, we don't. No, we don't. So I moved
Again,
out
I
of this
don't
one
think I was
line.
angry in that. You're like, no, we don't. I was like, I don't think we need to. It's more of my response is typically a flightier response. Yeah, I think we'll
Flightier
be
with a
okay.
sense of commitment
Certainty
and
that it's,
direction that I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to sound like I
I'm
do.
gonna do it
And I'm
anyway.
going to, so you wind up, I'm waiting in the long line. I have to give up my spot in
You
line
did, I
to,
know.
to
You were
come
very
with
calm about
you.
that.
And then you go and you don't get the pat, but your bag gets through and you don't. So you have to lift your big giant suitcase back over. And I'm like, get in the flipping
Well, then we
line.
learned
Let's
for
get
sure.
back. And then I don't believe there was ever oh, that you were right. There was not
No,
but
I'm always very good at saying you were right. I know I definitely did say that. I can admit when I'm wrong. I just feel like I'm sure there's a solution. That doesn't have to be that solution for everyone in that line. That seems ridiculous to me. Oh, because they need a ticket.
yeah, you need a ticket. To pay the two
Right.
euros for the
I think
ticket.
I came off
Then you can put your money
London.
on the
In
ticket.
fairness, everybody, I came up London, which is brilliant, where you just use your credit card for everything. I was like, why can't it just be like
Yeah,
this? Oh, different
the
country
tube in London is
was
fabulous.
fantabulous. That works for my short attention span. I think that's really what it is. I just don't have the patience to do that. So that's where you and I work really well together because you'll pay attention to the details. I'm just like, I don't know. Let's just try and figure it out. Serves me well a lot of times, and in other cases, gets me in a bit of trouble. But that's okay.
Yeah, we're a good team.
We're a good team.
So, okay, so we went to London. You met us in London, yes. So I was there first. You joined us, and I was worried that you were going to be in this new country all by yourself early. I'm texting you, are you okay? Are you good? You landed? I
I was
think you're going
highly
to be.
underestimated.
I thought you were going early so you could get a good rest. Dear
I did.
listeners, she went early so she could bar hop and like find these which you had an amazing experience. And I realized, oh, I
I
did not
did.
need to be worried about her at all. She's fine.
Yes, I would. I mean, listen, I do a lot of travel, but I'm not really a solo traveler. Like I'm solo traveling on the plane to meet someone. typically. So that I've done a ton of flights by myself, that sort of thing. So I was nervous, but at the same time, I've done it enough that I'm okay with just finding a random place. I like to like I'm in a new place. I want to find food and drinks. That's like fun. And really kick off my vacation. So I did go to bed early. I was jet lagged. So that's why I went early was to try and beat the jet lag. But I wasn't going to stay in the little Airbnb by myself all night. I
See,
was like,
I would have
let's
been
find a
like
bar.
thrilled. I would have been like, awesome. I'm finding some food. I'm tucking in. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But you
I had a
went and
nap
found great
and then I went
cocktails.
out. I did. I had great cocktails and this like random pasta place that was recommended to me where I'm eating pasta with a heater and like a large glass of red wine. Actually, it was one of the more glorious times. I think it's because it's the high. You're on the high of landing in a new place. So
Hmm.
didn't want to not have that. So that was fun to do by myself. Could I do that? Like how people do that for a long time? I don't know. I was happy you were arriving the next day. I could have maybe done 2 days by myself. And then I think I
Yes.
get a
And you
little
would have
bored.
had, so the point of the paying attention to details and the keeping safe, like
Hmm.
you would need to do more of that if you were on your own.
Yeah,
Like
which
when
I think I
you
would have
said you
had
left
to.
your drink at the
Yes,
bar and then you came back and the bar drink's not there and the bartender had taken it away because it wasn't safe for you
exactly.
to sit. And
Exactly.
you were like, I
I was
didn't
like,
think about
oh,
that.
that's a good point. That's right. I tell my daughter to do that, and I never really thought of doing it myself.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think in navigating, like I was able to navigate the tube and get there, but if I don't have to and I can just follow someone's lead, yeah, I'm happier doing that. But yeah, so I met you guys. You guys arrived, and then we did a few days in London, which I really enjoyed that city. Like that was amazing.
What was
Before
your favorite
we
part?
Oh my God, that's such a tough question. So I
Like we
did love
went,
the tour. I love a good
we did a
walking,
big walking
biking.
tour.
I love that. So I've
That was
really
good because we jammed all the things
yeah.
into an afternoon.
Yeah, I've tours have become my jam. I just think that's just a really nice way. I like listening to people and learning. I don't like reading and learning. I like someone talking and telling stories. And we got really lucky that she was an amazing storyteller. But I also really enjoyed well, I enjoyed just the history because we were kind of close to it in our understanding of, it's probably one of the country histories that I'm more familiar with. If you
Well,
think of
because we live in a British
totally,
colonized
exactly.
country. Yeah.
So to actually like see places and know that, Diana lived here, stuff like that. Like I'm like, wow. You're just kind of seeing it in real life. I love that. And then I love the food and I love a good pub. Like there wasn't anything, I mean, other than it was flippin' expensive.
Yes.
London is crazy. Beyond that, I would go back in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
a heartbeat. If given the opportunity to go back to London, I will be saying yes.
Yeah. It's a well-designed city
It's
too.
really well
You can get
designed.
around easily.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did some historical stuff. We did the tour, which was awesome. Big walking tour. We did Tower of London.
Kensington Palace was lovely.
Yes,
And
and we
then the
got to have a
tea,
high tea. That was
which
so
was that
nice.
was so nice and was actually a really nice day.
That was a highlight. That was
That
really
was a
special.
highlight. I would say that was super special.
And then we
So
walked
like,
around Notting Hill,
yeah,
wound up in a pub. That was like a
yeah,
fun kind of casual
yeah.
afternoon. What did we do after the Tower of London?
We did Kensington.
No, we didn't. We went to
We
the Tower
didn't?
of London.
Oh no, because we were with Lauren.
Oh, we went back to that pub.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Briars, something. Anyway, it was lovely. We had a great time.
Oh,
So
and then
that
we met
was
up with my
London.
friend again for dinner.
Oh, see, that was lovely. I did enjoy that. That was a nice little, those were little extras I feel like you coordinated that just made it even more fun because I think you meet different people. I think that's the other thing about travel. So,
So you liked meeting someone local. So for
yeah,
those
or
that,
and
so
I
it was an
like
old
meeting
high
new
school friend of
people.
mine that lives in London,
Yes.
who would have been like my friend when I was my daughter's age.
So that was
So,
amazing. It's
mhm.
always fun to meet your friends' friends because you get to see a side, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I've learned about myself, which I would have said I was not this human, is I enjoy meeting strangers and chatting with like new people and just hearing their story, even for like an hour. I think it makes so many times I traveled without talking to anyone other than my ex-husband. Like we were very like we would didn't make friends on vacation. Not that you need to make friends, but you know what I mean?
Well,
Like we didn't
it
really talk
enhances your
to.
experience. It totally enhances your
So
experience when you talk to
let me
someone
tell
local.
you, we did a lot of travel for 20 years
You
and
never talk
didn't
to anybody?
no. So, and now that likely is because I'm managing two children and I'm exhausted and we're trying to figure that out. And even if I am just with my ex-husband at the time, like I don't want to talk to anyone because I barely want to talk to him because I'm exhausted and that's why I'm on vacation. Like I'm sure there is that. So I'm saying this to women out there. Like I think your capacity for that is one thing. Secondly, I think it is you feed off the person you're traveling with. So in my travels in the last 2 years, I've been traveling with someone who is the polar opposite of that, like wants to sit at a table with strangers and just start chatting. So you kind of learn to lean into that. And I have realized that A, I'm very good at it, and B, I like really enjoy it.
This is great. I'm going to send you in all the new biz things now. Well, I'll send
Well,
you
it's a
into a
very different
room.
thing.
Send you into a room
Oh
that you
God.
don't know
Oh
anyone.
God. But yeah, I've gotten a lot. There's been growth in that area. So yeah, maybe as a solo traveler, I could do it knowing that, but I also do enjoy having a wingman.
That's good to
That's
learn
just
that
the
about
thing.
yourself and interesting you learn that about yourself later in life.
Yeah,
It,
100%.
it does enhance your travel, I think, if you can talk to people. So we didn't meet that many people from London, but we talked to people like we talked to wait staff and we talked to my friend and we talked
We
to
did. I would say we did because I think there were enough people. A, we had Lauren for a little bit, right? And then we had your friend, and then we
Mhm.
were on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, when maybe we were in Kensington Palace and Notting Hill, we were kind of just the two of us, but that's fine. Like it doesn't have to be all of the time. But even with the tour guides and stuff, I do just
Yeah.
enjoy that. So that is something I recognize. I do believe it enhances. So if anyone hasn't really leaned in to that,
One of the things I liked about England too, just from a left turn perspective, is there's a lot of female leadership. Like when you look at
yes,
the
yes,
royals, and then
yes.
as our tour guide called her, Queen Vicky, which is
Vicky,
hilarious.
she's now my favorite.
Queen Vicky.
Vicky.
By the way, there's a movie on Netflix. I haven't finished it yet, but
Oh,
it's Queen Victoria and Emily Blunt is Victoria.
oh, did I know
It's
this?
like 2010. It's old.
Oh,
It's like 15 years old.
I'm gonna
She's
look
a
it up.
young Victoria, and we learned because we went through her quarters in the palace where she grew up, and she was the
Yeah,
first person to live in Buckingham Palace.
yeah.
Because she moved out of Kensington Palace when she was like 18.
To get
And
away from her mother who made her
yeah,
sleep in the same bedroom. Weird.
yeah, I know. Well, in the movie, it's all about
Is
like
it?
getting
Okay,
away
I'm gonna
from her
watch this.
and
Okay.
about falling in love with Prince Albert, who was her
Her
first
cousin.
cousin. See, listen to
It's
us.
all the sordid details I love. That's the
I
stuff I
know, it's all
remember.
gossipy.
It's all
It's fun.
gossipy. Yeah, it's
But then
fun.
you're walking around anyway, so there's like obviously Queen Elizabeth, and then we've got like the leadership of and demise of Diana, and you've got all
Hmm.
interesting like that's and those in the relatively last kind of 300 years. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's very
but you
true.
also have like Margaret Thatcher, who
Yep.
wasn't, we've had a female prime minister for 1 minute.
Yes.
Uh, like it's kind of interesting to see.
That's a really good point.
I
There
mean,
is a lot of female power,
not in
it felt,
comparison to the amount of male power,
no,
but there
of
at least are
course.
female examples.
And, it's just nice that in the narrative and the storytelling and the history, there's just a lot of those examples. I think it would be boring otherwise if we're just
Yeah.
talking about the men.
Yeah. Well, lots of
Um,
countries there is only men.
yeah, 100%. So I enjoyed that. Like I'm with
Yeah.
you. I think that was that was lovely. And it's just cool. You just feel cooler when you're in London. You just do.
I don't know if I felt cool when it rains
I
and there's
did. I felt like it was a cool place. I was like, I could live here. It would make me cooler if I lived in London.
I would
Just the
like
way
to go
people
back and spend
dressed.
longer amount of time. Yes.
100%.
And see if that was something you could do.
Yeah. So London is a must go to, 100%. Then we had to leave it.
Yeah, then we
But
went to go
then,
with a goal to drink some wine and learn about wine. And this is the part I feel many of our friends are like, ooh, that's the part I should have done. And I think we have
yes,
already influenced many people who are
to do
going to
it.
do at least go to Champagne.
100%.
So we went to France, we went to Bordeaux, and we went to Champagne, and we use anyone who asked how do we plan it, because I like to plan this stuff. So usually this would be something I would plan.
Hmm. Same,
Um,
same.
but since we were going together and it was the last leg of my trip, and I was like, oh, I don't know, sometimes it's harder to know. I didn't know if the things I picked you would like because we hadn't traveled really together yet. So we decided to use a company that
Curated.
specializes
Yeah.
in wine trips. So they booked all the accommodations, the tours, the kind of our flight and train, and
Yeah.
kind of made the recommendations. And actually, that was just
Oh, so
such
good.
a treat. That was such a treat because
Yeah.
we didn't have to worry about that. You literally, I felt like
And
probably
it was
probably how my husband
seamless.
feels when we travel. He's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
where's the agenda?" Because I literally do an agenda. I just don't have my own app. Like
Oh
this
my
had an
God,
app.
that is
But literally,
flippin'
what are
the
you
truth.
doing? Yeah, I
This
felt
is
like
how our children and husbands feel.
probably. I haven't asked him, but I would imagine because
That's
I think
exactly.
of all of the things, and every day everyone's like, "Where are we going today?" And I've of course planned it. But this was a treat. It was planned for us. And what a gift. Like, what a gift to just have it done. And then the only things that weren't done were a couple of dinners. And that's the one thing I said to you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving those
Mm-hmm.
dinners in your control.
Mm-hmm.
You plan those
Mm-hmm.
dinners.
Hmm.
And then we had meals that were not planned as
Yeah.
well, but you planned two really great spots.
Mm-hmm.
And we zipped on a plane and we wound up in Bordeaux. We flew to
Yeah.
Bordeaux. Quick, relatively quick flight from
Relatively quick. It was pretty, everything, well, I'm knocking on wood, but everything was seamless. Like it really, we didn't,
Mhm.
and I think there were things going around us, but we got very lucky because you never know with travel. Listen, travel is just luck of the timing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this, but I was on the plane coming home with you, obviously, but I was ahead of you because of my travel anxiety. And then I overheard a woman who was saying she was supposed to fly out the day before to Heathrow, and there was some issues with the machines and the immigration. She missed her flight. So I think there was some stuff that was happening the day before.
You got to
But
travel with me because, as my friend Leslie always said when we traveled,
mhm.
when we backpacked, she'd always say, "You have a horseshoe up your ass." Like
Well, then
I
you
get
are a
knock
good
on wood, I
person.
get
Knock on
usually
wood. You
get
never know.
lucky-ish.
Yeah.
Not
So
always.
anyway, we were pretty, everything was very seamless, which was lovely, given there were some transitions that needed to happen. But no,
Yeah.
that was a treat and definitely
So,
recommend that.
so we landed in Bordeaux. So anyone who's familiar, so Bordeaux is about a 2-hour train ride south of Paris, just from location. So it's on the western side of Paris. And we land there and it looks and feels like Paris. I had been in Paris a week before.
Hmm.
It's just a smaller version. And so what we learned is that the people who built Paris and the architects of they were from Bordeaux. They
Yeah,
built
it was
Bordeaux
Bordeaux
and then
inspired.
it was the inspiration for the
Yeah,
development of so that's why it
yeah,
looks and feels. It's much
yeah.
smaller on a scale and it has a river much like Paris running through it. And so we get to this lovely hotel, we drop off our stuff and we go to a restaurant literally around the corner. And at first, so they were a little snooty at the beginning, but we sat down and we had the plat du jour, like the
Yeah.
meal, the lunch of the day. And we were like blown away. Like in came the soup. We had the soup and then the main course. The soup was like a mousse. Remember how delicious?
Yes,
We
it
were
was so
like,
good.
and it was like beautiful. We're like looking around. Was there like a Michelin star here? And we didn't know. Like we were
Yes.
on the not balcony, patio with
Yeah.
our rosé enjoying, and then this soup thing shows up, and we're like, oh my, it was so, we
Everything was
felt
so
very
good. So
fancy
we did feel very
right off
fancy.
our flight. And then I had a nice lunch, and then we're like, oh, what else is going to happen here? Like
Yes.
it just upped the level of
Yeah, I
that.
agree. I agree.
It's a very lovely town. Then we went for dinner that night. You had already coordinated this tasting dinner, like in honor of my
Mm-hmm.
birthday, which was
Mm-hmm.
super special as well.
Mm-hmm. That was lovely.
All paired with wines,
Yeah, that was lovely.
like 10 out of 10
Yeah,
for
that
that
was Michelin.
experience.
That one was Michelin, which we figured out after.
It was fancy.
I thought it
Like
was
it was fancy.
Michelin-like. When I read the reviews, I thought it wasn't quite Michelin, or maybe it had a certain number of stars, but that one was nice.
It was pretty
It's
fancy.
pretty fancy. And
Yeah.
then honestly, though, one of my fave is the wine school. I could have stayed
I
there all flippin' day. That was a recommend from one of Emery's. internet friends. Well, probably friends,
Volleyball
but
friends.
on
No,
the
it's a volleyball
volleyball.
friend.
I know, but I meant through
She commented
Instagram.
and said,
She
"You needs to
said,
go to this. If you're there, you need to go here."
and it was amazing.
I still don't understand why. So why it's so great. Like it's a wine school, so I think there must be they just have access to all the wine so they
I
can
think
have a
so. And I
variety of wine at a lesser
at
cost.
a lesser cost
You could sit
and
there
huge
forever.
like glasses of wine. So
Yeah.
you could get wine that you would typically for a glass, if you paid for the bottle, right? In a restaurant,
Yeah.
you would pay substantially more, but an actual glass of said bottle was quite reasonable. And that was the
Hmm.
value in from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just great.
Yeah.
Drinking wine, all drinking wine experiences in France were amazing.
Yeah. So then that was, and then we did two tours.
Two
We also did
tours.
2 day tours. So
Yeah.
we went, there's a left, just like in Paris, there's a left bank and a right bank. There's a left
Hmm.
bank and a right bank. So we drove half an hour east for the right bank, which is
Hmm.
towards the area of Saint Emilion. And that
Hmm.
we did with the female
Tour
tour
guide.
driver. Yeah. And we went, how many places?
Three,
3?
maybe
And we
three.
had like a
I
little
think they're both
lunch.
three. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day we had like a full-on tour of Bordeaux with this great guy. I forget
Yeah,
his
he was
name, but he was
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Young guy, surfer, like not surfer, scuba diver kind
Scuba
of
diver.
guy, very
Yeah.
cool guy. And we learned so much from him just walking around. And then we also started drinking wine at like 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock and eating cheese. Loved
So
it.
we were tasting the jambon,
Yeah.
the ram jambon,
So good.
and then drinking wine with that. And then we had cheese and we had wine. And we had then we went to the wine school.
Yeah.
And then we
Instead of
met up
going
with
back
him
to
and
the
then
hotel to maybe rest a
yeah.
bit, we're like, let's just go to the wine school and keep drinking. And so we show up to our later tour already
With the
hammered
same guy.
with the
We have to
same
get in
guy.
a bus. He's like, well, and they waited for us. We were only 1 minute late.
We were
But
one
we
minute
get there and he could tell that he had dropped us at 10 and here we are at 2, much
too.
happier.
Much happier. That was fun. That was good too.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
had like Irish
Yep.
and
US.
US people on that tour.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is nice too when you meet
yeah.
new like people. So that was lovely. That was just drinking our way through France.
But Bordeaux was really red wine. Like that's the
Yes, it
theme.
was,
And it's
which was
I
fine.
like red wine.
Me too.
Rosé is making a massive comeback, and
Yeah.
so the red wine producers are starting to make less red wine because
Mhm.
rosé is coming in.
Yeah.
But anybody from Bordeaux turns their nose up at the rosé because they think we're just silly. But red
Yeah.
wine I find hard to drink all
I
day.
can't drink all day.
No,
Totally.
not that we should drink it all
No,
day,
I
but
know. But it was easier in France to drink red wine all
yes,
day,
it
just
was.
so we're clear.
Yeah, but it is. And so then we spent 2 days and then that was so fun and lovely and just
Hmm.
highly recommend that little town. And then we got on the train. That was your big first train trip.
Yes.
And that was easy.
That was super
We
easy. The
we had
train
to
was
get
very
to
easy.
Champagne. So we had to take the train up to Paris, then
Paris
switch,
transfer.
go on the metro that you didn't think we needed a ticket for. And also for the record, we also have big suitcases. Can we just discuss? So we have 2 big suitcases, which I wish, and I was gone for 4 weeks. I needed a big suitcase, but and I had given some of my stuff to Lauren, so it wasn't
Yeah,
as
to
heavy.
hold.
But some way along the way, one of my wheels turned into a wonky wheel. And so I had like
Yes.
a shopping cart issue. Felt like I go a wonky shopping cart. So, and the cobblestones and the weight of and up and down the escalators. And I was a little slower because my bag would not cooperate with me.
Hmm.
So actually, my bruise on my arm just started to go away over the
Oh
weekend
dear.
from when I fell down the escalator. But
Yeah, almost fell down the
well,
escalator.
I tipped. Me and my bag tipped, but we rectified that.
Yes.
So anyway, so we had to move those bags through the trains, which was fine, but it was all an adventure. And on the metro, which was fine, but an adventure once we realized we needed the ticket. And then we got on it was such a quick train from Paris to Champagne. So that's my big thing. Anyone going to Paris should get on the flippin' train and go to Champagne or
For the
drive.
day. Just
It
go
is
for the day. It's a
completely,
40-minute direct train ride.
it's
And because
completely
people
doable.
travel, right? Like they travel for work or they don't want to live in Paris and they come in.
Yeah.
And it is wonderful and super easy. 40 minutes, and then you do champagne for the day and take the train back.
Yeah. So there's two towns, Champagne, and then where did we stay?
No, we were in remember it's called Reims, but it's a Rem. People
Oh,
are
I just
like
said we were
Rem.
in Rennes when we were in Bordeaux. We were not. Where were we in? We were in
No,
Bordeaux.
we were in
Sorry.
Medoc in Bordeaux was the second.
We went, we were in, yeah, Medoc was the left bank.
Yeah.
Saint Emilion, that area was the
Yeah.
right bank. And then, yeah, Rem is where we were.
Rem, but if we
Rem.
were, which we've told everyone, where you want to go is to Epinay. Epinay? Am I
Yeah.
saying it wrong?
Which the Rue with the Rue de
Rue de
Champagne.
Champagne. So that is like if we were to do, we did it, it made sense because we could walk to the train station, which again, with someone with travel anxiety was brilliant that I didn't have to worry about getting to the train station. It was literally a 10-minute walk. So that, for that reason, made sense since we were there for such a short period of time. However, if I were to do it again, I would want to stay 20 minutes out because that Rue de Champagne looked lovely. And you literally just walk down the road and there's champagne houses on either side and you just,
Yeah. I would say Epinay is like going to Niagara in the Lake
yeah,
versus maybe Niagara Falls or
yes.
Hamilton.
Yeah, it's way nicer
Like the
though. Like,
way
okay.
nicer, but I'm
But
thinking
like Rem
distance
is nicer
wise.
than Niagara
Rem
Falls.
is
But
way nicer. And Rem has, so for everyone who loves, so Veuve Clicquot,
yeah.
the bright, yeah. Oh, I should have, where's my hat? I should have worn my
Oh, you
hat.
should totally have worn your
Wait a
hat.
second. Should I get it
No, because we're on a podcast. Well, where is it?
in my room?
Just quickly go into your room.
Okay, okay, wait.
Everyone, hold for 2 seconds because
Well,
we
you
need
can
a
tell the
hat.
story while I keep talking. Keep
Okay.
talking. You
So
say
Veuve
something. I'll be back.
Clicquot. So the
Yeah,
first
tell
thing
the
we do,
story.
yeah. So as soon as we get back to or get to Rem, we're like, okay, it was actually a nicer day too. So we knew we wanted to go out
Hooray.
and go to Veuve Clicquot first and maybe hit one or two, but we only had enough time to go to Veuve. So we walked, what, 35 minutes there. There she is. She's back with her
Hi, I'm
hat
back with
that
my.
she spent ridiculous amounts of money on, but that's okay. We go to Viv Clico and everything's like insane, but it's fine. We
It
want the
was, but my
pictures.
hat was the least expensive thing
Yeah,
in the
we
whole
had to go for
place.
the least expensive things. But anyway, so we walk the 35 minutes, we show up. It's a brand brilliance for any marketers or anyone who
Oh,
appreciates it. It
so
was
good.
so
So
lovely.
good.
And we couldn't get a tour, but we were able to just sit on the cafe and we had a flight and we were
You
able to drink some beautiful champagne and then walk around. But I think if I were to go back, I would do the tour.
you have to book it months in advance.
Months
So
in it
as a
because
heads
you
up.
weren't even last minute when you looked.
No, I tried at least 2 months ahead,
Yeah, so
fully booked, but we could get on the patio and we got to try the flight, which was
yeah,
amazing.
which was
Like
amazing.
Le Grand Dame Champagne, I think, is the
It
most
was so
famous
good.
one because
Yeah,
that's what they call her, right? They
yeah.
call. Did
The
you
Grand
explain
Dame.
what that
No,
Veuve
I
is,
didn't have a
widow?
chance. You were literally at 30 seconds, not
I
even.
told you I was fast.
You were fast. But that's, I think, what we did enjoy about Champagne was, again, if we think of female owners, female entrepreneurs, the story with Widow Clicquot, and you had told me to watch the series on whatever it was,
Netflix. I
Netflix,
think it's
which
on
was
Netflix.
lovely, which was amazing. And apparently, as we were just Googling before this is a thing in Champagne country where these women would marry into these champagne houses and their husbands would die inevitably
So
and they
she'd
would
get to
need
inherit it.
and they get to inherit it. So that is the story. So Widow Clicquot is very much the pioneer. She's the pioneer who created champagne, I guess.
Well, she
um
created, can I clarify?
yeah, of
So,
course you can.
so everybody knows the big wide explodes, right? And you get
Yeah,
it and it explodes. So you may have seen on TV that the way that they age it is that they age it on an angle. And so before Widow Clicquot, Clicquot, Champagne was murky. It was
murky.
all the settlement that was in it. So she invented a way to get all the
Went
settlement to
out, which
tip
is quite
into the
fascinating,
bottle.
really. Yeah.
And if you ever see, they're like triangular holders with holes, and they put the bottles in, and it's called riddling. That's what she invented, the
Yes.
term of riddle, which is like you're
Ah,
twisting it and tipping it at a higher thing. I don't know how many times it has to twist. They taught us on
they did, and I
the
can't remember
other.
that stat now.
Anyway, she
A
invented
lot.
riddling, which then all the sediment goes to the neck. Then they pop off the top, which is just like a bottle cap, take
Yeah.
out the sediment, and then they put
Cork
like the
it.
actual cork that we're familiar with sparkling wines,
Yeah.
and then that ages with the proper cork on it for
Yeah.
like 18 months or longer.
Or
But
longer.
she invented that riddling thing so that and she also invented the rosé.
Yes, that's what I do remember.
She
The
put the
rosé
red
was hers.
skins in, and
Nice.
she invented that. So she was
She was pretty
pretty
amazing.
remarkable. Yeah.
But there were apparently a lot of the French guys would die before would, and the women, there's like three or four that we just Googled. I'm sure there's more
Yeah,
of,
the neighbor.
well-known champagne houses where the woman kind of took it on and brought it forward. So I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty awesome as a story. It was definitely the place that surprised me the most, I think, of all of it, just in the storytelling and the history. And I realized how little I knew about champagne, the process, um, all
Well,
of that.
in Champagne, another what I thought was remarkable, and I was excited about it, but I couldn't imagine what it was like. I didn't have a visual,
Hmm.
was the underground chalk cellars.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
underground, so in the next town, Epinay, which is where most of the champagne houses are. And when we say houses, it's like winery. We would say
Yeah.
winery here. They call
Yes.
them
Houses.
maison or chateau or house.
Hmm.
And so the Rue de Champagne, if this is why we wish we had more time, you could just
Yes.
walk up and down this street and pop into every little place and try a sample at
Yeah.
every house.
Yeah.
But underneath the ground, it's these massive, long,
Cellars.
kilometer long, they have 28 kilometers
28.
of cellars, which are chalk, and they've been there for hundreds of years. Um, and when you walk, like there, people get lost. Like there's like subways almost underneath, like big pathways. And each champagne house kind of works collaboratively to have a space and not go into the others, but
Yeah.
they're safe. But and then during the World Wars, they actually those were bunkers down there. Like
Bunkers.
people
Yeah.
stayed down there. But when you walk around, like we were walking around for the full tour of Moet,
Yeah.
and it's shocking. Like tens of thousands of bottles are just like in this corner. Then you go to the
And have
next
been for
corner.
years.
The
Like, I'm like,
lineup.
when are we just gonna drink this?
I know, not just 1 or 2 years, like decades.
No, decades.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So that
It's
I really enjoyed. Like, I think that doing a tour and learning about champagne, which I don't know that a lot of people would know, because you're usually focused on wine. Like, people know wine and they probably know a little bit more. It was a pleasure. Like, it was, I really enjoyed walking around those cellars and just, that was
in
cool.
France, they'll ask you, do you want still or champagne? Like when they talk about regular
Right.
wine, they call it still wine,
Yeah, that's
which
funny.
I think is interesting, right? So like
Yeah.
Chardonnay, I think of as we would just call that Chardonnay, but over there,
Chardonnay.
that's still
Still.
wine because
Yeah.
champagne is mostly Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
champagne. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
So
And
that was
then, yeah,
fun.
yeah, and
I
so that
really
was,
enjoyed that. That was probably one of the highlights, I would say, was the day. Uh, Like, I mean,
totally.
Veuve Clicquot was amazing, but really the day at Moet. And then we got to go like see the fields, like, or the vineyards.
Yes.
That was
And we
cool
went and we went
too.
to small producers as well. We didn't just go to
Yes.
the big ones.
Yes.
So
So
we
that
went
was
to a couple
cool.
of small ones, which was nice to see that actually
Hmm.
it's not just 300-year-old brands,
Yeah.
but it's actually young couples running a business, much
Yeah.
like you would see anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
But it has the cachet
Yeah.
of
And
being in
pushing
Champagne.
and pushing and being progressive in what's next when it comes to champagne, which I thought was cool as well.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. And
Yeah.
then we had to leave, and that was sad. And then we went back to London, which was fun. We did that for a day.
Yeah, back for one day, and then we
Now
flew
flew
out.
home.
What did you think was the most? So I think also as friends and business owners, like to me, like we're coming up on 10 years of business. So,
Yes.
I mean, there was a lot of milestones for us. Like, obviously, we talked before about my big birthday, but we have a big
Mm-hmm.
work
Mm-hmm.
milestone. And just like any relationship, like it shifts, just like good champagne. Like it needs to age and things happen and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna taste differently than like so I think that this was such a great chance for us to travel together, kind of not become reacquainted, but to become reacquainted,
Yeah.
right? Like as ourselves without the hindrance and the weight of the day-to-day
Agreed.
business and to really just talk about like what do you want to do next? Like where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see the business in 10 years? Where, and just kind of have the time. Have the time.
I
And
agree.
when you're drinking a lot of wine, you talk about a lot of
We
things.
do. Yeah, I mean, I do think like it for me anyway, and I think for you too. It did validate and, reaffirm kind of the strength that we know in our partnership and relationship. And, it invigorates you to really think about kind of the future and go, okay, like I'm willing, this is good. Like let's look now to what's the next 10 years, which is really the discussion, right? Because 50, even though I'm a slightly older than 50, but 50 is just a nice wrap in all of it. To your point, 10 years in the business. Okay, what's the next 10 years gonna look like? And it's nice to know that when after 10 days you're kind of traveling with someone and you're like, okay, I can see the next 10 years with you, right?
Yeah,
Like, and so
100%.
we don't have to have, we can get to the meat of the conversations, which listen, we didn't always have that. We've had another partner. Like we've been through a lot of COVID. There's been a lot of ups and downs through it. And not to say that there won't be in the next 10 years. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think that in some really heavy and hard times of this business, we were just getting to know one another. So
Yeah.
what's really nice is knowing that, like, I truly believe that whatever may come, like, I'm standing beside the right person. Like, there's no
Yeah.
question. I don't know
Totally.
that I've ever felt as confident in that. I mean, over the years I have, but this
Yeah.
trip just reaffirmed that in
Yeah.
all of our discussions, and we were aligned in everything. Yeah, this is what we're
Yeah.
doing. There was no, it was easy of course, this is what we're doing next.
Yeah. See, if I was sitting beside you, I'd hug you right now, but I'm
Oh,
not. But it's
babes.
like we like each other.
Yes,
And I think you have to invest in that friendship.
yes.
You have to invest. And also it's a strong, secure, like it's just like another relationship in the same way,
Hmm.
like you want to invest in yourself so everybody's good. So your kids are all good. Your kids are all happy. I think it's important for us. And to be honest, I don't know if our team actually said, "Oh, that's a great idea. You guys should go." Like I don't know if they were probably like, "Oh my gosh, you're both going to be away for the same amount of time."
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
was probably, but I also think they were perfectly fine without us.
No, they were
They
great.
were great.
They probably enjoyed
But
it.
I think it's important for us to invest, and I know that they see that value,
Yeah.
um, for us to invest in that friendship and invest in that relationship. Because, yeah, if you don't have that, that would make running the business a lot harder.
A lot harder. And listen, it happens. Not everyone's like besties in running a business. Like, we're just lucky.
We're
Like,
lucky, but
I'm
we
very
have a lot
grateful
of
for that.
trust. Yeah, we have a
We
lot of
do, but
trust.
that's not always the case, right?
Yes,
So
and you could still like someone and you might have been like, I don't
totally.
want
I
to go
don't want
do
to
that.
spend 10 days. In fact, off you go. Could use a break. Like
Yeah,
that, I think, you and I recognize that this is a special situation and not one that we think
we don't take
is
it for granted.
necessary, we don't take for granted or is necessary to run a successful business. That's not what we're saying, but we are very, and we
It
have
works
said
for
it over the
us.
years, works for us. And I think that we've been able to do what we have had to do with the business as we look at kind of colleagues and other business owners because of the relationship that we have. So now it's like, okay, how do we level up? Like, what do we do next? Like, what's holding us back? So it is quite a beautiful thing. So yeah, we'll have to do it again. Like, this certainly better not be our last trip together.
No, no. What did you find the most surprising traveling?
With you, how quiet you are. I've said this before. You're much more quiet. but you're not in your head. I could tell. Like you're like, I know you enough. It's what you said. We both know one another, so nothing was like surprising. But I was like, I just felt like I was so chatty. I was like, blah, 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 the whole time. And you're just like not saying anything.
Huh. So interesting, right?
No, okay. So here's the thing. You were probably saying as much as a normal human would. The point is the Anne Marie, when you're like going, it's like you're leading the conversation, right? Like you are going, you have questions, you're little, so you were asking that, but you were more in your head over it.
Hmm.
It was interesting. So
Yeah,
I think it's just how you process those things.
I know. Well,
Clearly,
you
I'm
told
a
me
little
that to me.
flightier about it. I'm like, do. Which way do I have to look? Like, I don't, I'm in the experience in the moment. Like, I am like in it and then it leaves my head. Like, I bounce. But you, I could see there was a depth to the experience for
Yes,
you.
I know. We would do it, and I'd be like, "So, what do you think about blah blah blah?" Well, we just learned, and you're like, "What?"
What did we learn? Don't test me now. Am I having a quiz? But I did remember a lot, and that I know
You
because I was
did.
genuinely interested, like
Yeah.
wine and food. Of course, I'm going to remember those stats. That's not a
Yes,
problem.
I know. Well, we chose topics. We
We
weren't just
chose topics
doing.
we'd be interested in, but yes, that is true. I kind of can be very like in it and then out, whereas you're still processing at the end, and I'm like, we're over that. We're moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, I think I'm still processing.
You are, of
I was
course.
stacked a lot of things in that period of
You
time.
also, listen, had 2 weeks before, like,
Yeah,
I was coming in at a different, like,
fresh and excited. I
fresh and
was still
excited.
fresh and excited because each level was a little different.
Of
So,
course.
but
How about you? What was most surprising for you before
um
we close this off?
my most surprising, maybe it was that you were the opposite. You were the chatty, like
Hmm.
you and what you like. Yeah, and it's interesting to like learn about tolerances, like what
Hmm.
you need to feel kind of comfortable
Yeah.
and what you don't need. And
Yeah.
some of them are opposite.
Yeah.
Ours are opposite, which is not
Yes.
surprising.
No,
That
that's not
part's not
surprising.
surprising to
No.
me.
No.
Um,
I
yeah.
feel like I'm probably more laid back in the travel. Okay. Short of the
Oh, I
travel
disagree.
okay, no, but let me write a
Yeah,
thing around
okay.
this.
Okay.
When it comes to the travel, meaning the actual transportation, high anxiety. 100% you learn that really quick that I need to do certain things or I'm gonna lose my you know what.
Yes.
But
Yes.
when I land, like I'll tell you, like and I do this to a few people I travel. I'm like, my anxiety just went from 100. Okay, we're down to 75. We're down to 55. Like I can feel it in my body. But once I get there, I'm like, whatever. Let's just walk around. Let's just sit on a patio. Let's like, I'm just like, once I get there, I'm like, my travel laid back self, I way prefer. I'm like much better. But the transportation part, I can't get past that. And I wish I could chill about that as I do when I'm actually in my 3 to 4 days. Like I'm happiest. And then my anxiety will increase. Like you'll
Towards the
probably
end
note
again.
it towards the end
Yes.
because I know other people who've traveled with me, one man in particular, he knows immediately. He's like, "Oh, I can just feel it in you. You're vibrating at a level now because I like tomorrow morning we have to get up and get on." Just like I
Yes.
can't.
And so in hindsight, so here's this, we're the reverse.
Yes.
I don't, the
You were
travel part,
so
I'm not,
chill the travel part.
no big deal.
It was fine, but you were very chill in the
Yeah.
travel part.
And then I have over planned because I like
Yes.
to plan for all of the options so
Yeah.
that when I get to the place, I'm not worried or thinking about
Yes.
what I need to do so I can actually relax.
Yes.
So I feel I get there and I'm like, okay, I already know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
So my worrying, if you want to call it that, is before I even leave. So like
Yes.
the month before I left, like I was because I had all
Yes.
these documents and all these charts,
Yes.
but what I was doing every day.
Yes.
Um, but then when I'm there, though, I feel like since it's already planned, I can
Yes.
relax.
Yes.
So I do that as a,
Yes. So that's where I think we jammed well because we were both
yeah,
relatively relaxed when we're on it. Like in the actual vacation. But yeah, there's
yes.
certain
But
things
I
that
did, so that's my surprise. Here's my thing. It's like we
Mhm.
moved, right? You flew in, then we took another flight, then we
Yeah.
took another train, took
Yeah.
another train, took another train, took another flight.
Yeah.
So I love that kind of moving.
Yeah.
I did not realize how like that was going to cause you stress, the moving.
Yeah. Well, I knew that because I know that about myself. And
Yeah.
listen, I manage it. It's not like I
Yeah,
know I push through
totally.
it,
But
but you're right.
maybe
I am
it,
heightened in those things.
yeah,
So
so
the
maybe I would have
movement
planned
part,
it less movement.
yeah. Thank God it wasn't all flights. I think I would have been at a slightly different trains. Actually, I didn't mind.
They were pretty good, right? And
They
they're
were
very,
good. It
and
was
they
very
run
easy on
so
me.
firmly.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
very, very easy
Yeah,
to
I
plan
don't
for.
mind that. I think that's a good thing. If it was all flights, I think that would have been difficult because it would have just eaten into my day before. That's
So
what
here's
it
a
is.
question. If you went on a cruise, since I went on a cruise at the beginning, you've unpacked and you but you have to keep catching that boat at the end of every day. Would that
I
stress you
was
out?
fine with that. No, because I've done that. And I've done that with two children. That doesn't bother me. If I can control it, we're fine. Like I know I need to get to the boat part. That's easy. I can get there. It's flights. Like I've just experienced a lot of delays and shit. So that stuff just it's just something I have yet to learn how to manage. And I get through it. It's just
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of incidents. I think once you do, then you're just, oh, what's gonna happen now? Security is not gonna be as easy. What if there's a delay? I'm like, I like to be there 3 to 4 hours in advance. Like I just that's the shit I need to do.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I
overall, I
witnessed
think
it.
that was it. Yeah, you did witness it.
Like running down the street in the rain to the tube on the last day to London. And we're running and I'm like, "Oh, this is a great
Oh my
photo."
God. She's like, I want
There's
to take a
like
picture. And I'm like,
look left is on the ground and you're like, "No." And I might have
I was like, I am
yeah,
going to
but
kill
I
you
might
right
have
now.
possibly shouted at my daughter,
Yes.
"Well, left turn paid for this, so we're taking the picture." Take my
Take
picture.
the flipping picture. I'm like, I'm not going in that picture.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, that's the stress part. I'm like, because I always like to, you never know what's going to happen. You never know. So I'd rather just be there and be sitting in the lounge having a drink than, because that's happened. And then you're like, oh, I didn't expect this. That added 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It's like a
Yeah,
thing. I can't get past it. I try to.
it's okay.
It's
It's okay. You
okay.
just keep turning left and
We just
eventually
keep turning left. But we
it's all
managed
good.
it together. That is good. I think
Yeah.
we each kind of leaned in, lent whatever, as we needed to. So one took over as the other. It was good. I just think it was easy peasy. I look forward to the next trip.
Yeah, me too. Fun. So there you go. There's a little recap for anyone who
There's a
was
recap if
wondering.
anyone's interested. I
And
don't
the
know if
first
you
couple of
were.
weeks, my weeks were terrific. We don't need to go into them, but they was
Yeah, they were
I've come
terrific.
back after a month. I'm still kind of discombobulated because now I'm back
Yes.
to life and I like
Yes.
life, but being on vacation is
This is
so
so
much
much
better.
better. Life in Europe is so much better. That's what I said. The biggest thing learning too for Emery is now you know why I flee to the other side of the pond every chance I get.
Yeah.
That distance is does
And it's a good
something.
reminder for mothers in particular that life does go on when you're not here.
Yes.
It does. It might not go the way that you would do it, but it goes on. It
Yeah.
continues.
And physical
So,
removal is distance matters.
yeah.
Like it really, I'm not saying like, listen, dude, of course, not you don't have to take a plane to. There's certain privilege and luxury in that, sure. But if you can do it and you've been thinking about doing it, it just your mindset, there is something about it
Yeah.
that just
Well, my
allows
first
that break.
one week, I went with two girlfriends who I think
Hmm.
also struggled to leave the
Hmm.
confines and responsibilities at home.
Yeah, of course.
And wholly relaxed everybody
Yes.
was.
Yes. It's
So,
just it's something we need to fight for more
yeah, we do. We all have to
and
fight for this more.
prioritize as much as we can. That's possible.
Yeah,
All right, Anne Marie. So this
we
is the
got it.
kickoff of season three. We next podcast will have maybe insight into who are some of our next guests will
Yeah.
be, but we're looking forward to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
Thanks,
good. Keep
friend.
turning left.
Bye. I have to.
Are you pressing?